right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start by giving all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Wakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and we'll learn from daily. Peace and salutations to you, hopefully, like Akim, pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth. All right, and we're going to touch on this video put up by News Channel 5, and it reads, Tentacles of Fascist Fight Club reach into Tennessee. Critics call active clubs a neo-Nazi militia. All right, which, is more than Tennessee. All right, all these, so-called white, all right, Edomite, all right, majority of these men are Edomites. Okay, according to the scriptures, there's no such thing as a white person. All right, and these Edomites are preparing to come after you Jakes. All right, they're preparing for these race wars. Okay, which that's in the scriptures. Okay, nation against nation. All right, nation goes into nationality. All right, so the things are heating up. All right, while you Jakes, are busy partying, barbecuing. All right, planning for next summer. Okay, ESAU is preparing for the collapse of America. All right, and he's preparing to battle. All right, which they gonna mention that in this video. He's preparing to battle you Jakes. All right, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man.
Investigates a fascist fight club with tentacles that reach right here in the Middle Tennessee.
And extremism experts are now warning these groups are using martial arts to try to recruit new followers.
Young ones, right? As News Channel 5's chief investigative reporter Phil Williams discovered, teen boys have now become their latest targets.
Here at a jiu-jitsu gym in an industrial park near Nashville's Armory Drive, a gym that advertises its family-friendly atmosphere, News Channel 5 Investigates had kept watch on the comings and goings of one of the more visible figures in a far-right movement that's raising concerns among those who monitor extremist activity.
My name is Sporty. From Tennessee.
Sporty, as he calls himself in this online video, is Tristan Redke, a licensed EMT working for a Nashville area ambulance service. Redke made headlines 7 years ago while a student at East Tennessee State when he showed up at a Black Lives Matter.
All right, and just to quickly say, your boss, a lot of these Edomites, your coworkers, your supervisors, all right, people you run across into, these Edomites you run across into the store, and these stores that you might go to, hey, they're a part of these things, man. All right, your Edomite neighbors, that say, if they do say hi, hey, they're a part of these clubs, man. All right.
Protest wearing a gorilla suit. Now he's become a player in the so-called active club scene, a sort of fascist fight club.
We're ultra-nationalist, far-right, fascist, I'll lean a little bit into these terms,
That movement is headed by this man, Robert Brendo, a white nationalist who was featured in a recent 60-minute segment, has tried to recast the movement as being about young white men getting fit.
I'm thinking about creating a right-wing podcast that names the Jew.
But behind that image is this image of Rundle violently assaulting a Trump protester at a California rally in 2017. Rundle spent 24 months in federal prison, according to the DOJ, for planning and engaging in riots at political rallies across California. The Active Club founder has called organized fights like these a, quote, tip-off point for a fascist cultural revolution. He added, every victorious nationalist movement was forged by hardened men who already tasted real danger.
This is not just a national sports club or nationalist sports club. In its essence, it's the strategy to build a neo-Nazi militia.
Alexander Risman, a senior advisor with a counter-extremism project, has been studying the active club movement for years. He says that in their propaganda, Rendo and his followers liken themselves to Italy's fascist militia known as the Black Shirts, or to Adolf Hitler's stormtroopers. As the Black Shirts, or to Adolf Hitler's stormtroopers. So if this is a militia hiding in plain sight, what is the battle they're preparing for?
They say we are preparing for the time when a white supremacist leader is worth and in need of protection. Are you ready?
Here in one of their hype videos, Redkey is shown entering a fight in Texas as...
All right, so, like you said in the video, man, Esau is preparing, okay, for a battle. Even though they try to, mask it under these different terms, or they're waiting on this, they're preparing to come after you Jakes, man, come after you tribes. All right. Hey, the Lord said, well, he's gonna give the Assyrian, the modern day Assyrian is Esau. He's gonna give him a charge, right? And this is Genesis 27:41, and it reads, Esau held a grudge against Jacob. All right, this is the NIV version. He has a grudge against you, Jakes, because of what? Because of the blessing his father had given him. All right, not stolen. He said to himself, the days of mourning for my father are near, then will I kill. All right, it should be murder. Okay, that's what it really should be. Then I will kill my brother Jacob. All right, so this devil wants to kill you Jakes, man. He wants to kill you Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and he's preparing to do it, as we see in this video. All right, he's preparing. These Edomites are preparing. Okay, physically, mentally. All right, they're preparing for the battle. Okay, they keep saying battle. What battle? All right, the battle between Jacob and Esau, man. And they know it's coming. It's just you Jakes who don't understand what's taking place. All right, 2/3 of you Jakes, if you don't get right, you're gonna be blindsided by prophecy, man. You're gonna be blindsided by Esau, Edom. He's coming. Psalms 83:2, and it reads, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult. All right, an angry gathering. Okay, these your enemies, the heathen, especially Esau, Edom, they're constantly gathering, man. Okay, just like you got that Edomite who got put on blast, for the Nolan Wells incident. What did he say? We meet up, we talk about you niggers. We talk about you. All right, you ain't invited. Okay, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. All right. These heathen, beginning with Esau, they hate Yahweh Shemashai. They hate his people. Psalms 83:3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people, all right? Meetings, okay, secret fight clubs, okay? They ain't doing this for no reason, man. They ain't there speaking positive things about you Jakes, man. Nah, they're talking about how they want to destroy you. They're talking about how this race war is gonna go. That's what they're talking about. And consulted against thy hidden ones. All right, the Israelites. Psalms 83:4. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation." All right. When you cut something off, you're destroying it. All right. You're getting rid of it, man. Okay. This is what these Edomites, that's what they want to do, right? And they're going to attempt to do it. Okay, they're going to attempt to what? Ethnic cleanse you Jakes, that the name of Israel Yasharallah may be no more in remembrance. All right, Psalms 83:5. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. Okay, all the heathen, but the main culprit or the main leader is Esau. All right. Psalms 83:6, the tabernacles of Edom. Okay, that's why it mentions Esau or Edomites, the Edomites first, because he's the leader. Right? Esau's in power, so he has, pretty much the resources of the world in his hands to do what he got to do. The Ishmaelites, all right, the so-called Arabs, Moab, so-called Chinese, and Hagarenes, all right, which I believe are Hamites, okay, if I'm not mistaken, all right. So yeah, man, all the nations, but the top leader is the Edomites. Ezekiel 28:1, and it reads again, the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, say, a sword is a sword is sharpened and also furbished, right? The sword that is being sharpened is Esau, man. Because Esau, he's the sword of the Heavenly Father. All right, he's perfecting his sword. He's perfecting his, they ain't doing, they ain't only just fighting and, boxing. Nah, you best believe they're shooting. They going out to the woods practicing. All right, they putting you Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans' face on paper, and they shooting at it for target practice. Just like you had that, I believe it was somewhere in Georgia. You got that police department in Georgia. They had Jake face what on the paper as target practice, man. Why? I mean, you didn't see none of you Jakes, or you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, especially you Southern Kingdom. You didn't see none of you really up in arms about that, man. All right, which shows how dumb you Jakes are, man. You know, Ezekiel 21:10, and it reads, it is sharpened to make a sword slaughter. All right, you Jakes are getting ready to get slaughtered, man. All right, Esau, he's not playing. All right, Esau's not looking to be your buddy, your pal. He's looking to slaughter you. It is furbished to make a slider. So it is furbished that it make glitter. Should we then make mirth? Should we be planning for next summer's vacation? Should we be worried about the turn up? Should we be worried about next week's barbecue? All right. Should we be worried about going out to bars and clubs and having a good time? No. This devil he's ready. He's been ready. All right, really. Okay, especially these elites, man. Okay, these elites. Okay, they've been ready. They've been waiting on this moment to slaughter you, Jakes, man. It continued the rod of my son as every tree. All right, we want it off here, Psalm 17:13, and it reads, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, which the Lord is going to do. All right, for the 1/3, for the elect, but you 2/3, you gonna catch that sword. Okay, before the Lord cast this man down. Deliver my soul from the wicked. Who's the wicked? According to Malachi 1:4, it is the Edomites. They are classified as the wicked. Okay, which is thy sword. All right, Esau is the sword of the Lord, man. The Lord set this devil up to do what he got to do. All right, he's gonna do it to you, Jakes. Okay, he's coming. He's ready. He's been ready. Okay, he's just itching for that moment when all hell breaks loose, so he can use that sword. All right, to what? Make that slaughter, make that sword slaughter, man. You Jakes, all right? You better wake up. Okay, you better get right with how about Shema Shai. All right, but with that, we'll go into the lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Till next time, shalom.